Are you ready?
Here we go.
Every time he does that, next time you do that, you're gone. You're gone.
Here we go.
Oh, you know what? Let me just mute him.
And freedom still means something.
There you go. He can't say nothing.
Whoa.
This
He's muted.
is Throttle Iron.
Hell yeah.
Hey, Connie,
Yeah.
have you looked up the price of the oil change kit for your Spider yet?
No, is it
Whoa.
gonna hurt me?
Get ready for sticker shock.
That's gonna hurt.
Gee,
147 before tax.
That's less than I thought.
Oh my gosh. Way to start a show, Les. Piss me off before it even starts.
I'm trying to get Chris to mute me, but he hasn't yet. So.
Well, he didn't beat me either.
I know.
Isn't this last week's thing? Video?
They don't change. It's the same. What the heck? It's the same song. I ain't gonna change the song every week.
No, not the song. The view.
Yeah.
It's last.
It's universal. Harley, it's a universal screen.
Okay.
It doesn't have nobody's name on there. It says subscribe. It says super chats. Become a member. It doesn't say anything about anybody else.
Okay.
I like to have them pistons. You see them pistons? Where the skull turns into the part of the That's pretty cool. All right. Hey, folks. How's it going tonight? Let's hear some, where's everybody from? Hey, you guys know what to do. Go to throttleiron.com live, /live, and go check out, because we're going to do some polls tonight, and we're going to do, maybe to spin the wheel. I haven't decided yet. Let's see how much time we got. We got lots to talk about. We'll see how it goes. Throttle Iron /live should take you straight there. I'll give you guys a, I don't know why it's got the old video on there, but yeah. I'll see that. Let's go! He's done. I'll fire him too. Anyway.
Hey, Max, you and I got to go apply for unemployment, man.
No shit.
Oh, you know what? It's not on the right playlist. There we go. Got it. Show up in there in the live version. It should eventually. Anyway, go there, check it out. It's going to be starting here in a moment. Check it out. That's where the games are going to be. That's where the polls are. And where you're from. Tell you where you're from. We didn't do that last time, so that was my mistake.
See you on the road.
Nice.
Yeah, Riding Fish is in the house.
Yeah, there's fish.
All right, here's the members.
up?
This
Mike
right here.
is
And
too.
Look
Mike's
at all
up here.
them lovely members are here on the channel here. Loving it. All right, so man, Tim Arnold, congratulations, 7 freaking months. Our in adventure, 7 freaking months. Mixed boys getting close, man. He's at 6 months. Ball Cole's at 6. Gator Mike at 6. Riding Fish is at 6. Will's Divided 6. William Plays 6. Tony at 6. Kevin Tatum 6, and Donna at 6. And we got Donna in Iowa there twice. I apologize for that. She's so darn good. We had to put 2 spots on there for her.
Love it.
Joshua Pfeiffer 5. Mike Sampaio number 5. Doug Hampton number 5. Terry Cornett number 5. Who's ready to do the rest?
Well, number 1, that's Terry Connet.
Terry Cornett. Okay. No,
Cornett,
5 years old.
yeah.
Okay, gotcha. All right. All right. Les, I think it's your turn. Go. It's your turn.
All right, so 2 Rolling Stones, Bagger Legion, Tony G, Rumble and Growl, Rune Seeker Moto, Ed Bitey Snatcher Seidel. Ed and I are actually going to go to Maggie Valley Wheel Shoe Time here in a couple weeks. Fun fact. Kev Indian 116 RM, Wind Therapy Addict, Casey Joe R, Leyland Smith, The Bent Rim Podcast. Hey, guys. Christopher 0587, Xan Biker, Cedar Key, Gnarly Zeus, Chris Walrick, Murph Surf, Dark Souls Corner, Sick Bastard 71, Jay Limmerts 51, Behind Rudy's Fairing, Alpha Tester. Hey, Body Snatcher's on here twice. What's up with that?
Well, he's just so good.
Kevin Indian 116 looks like it's on here twice. Mr. Maxwell and the closer. I think that's cheating, Chris. The closer is you, is that not?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's up with that?
You know what? You know what? Let me go ahead and fix something here. My software is so damn good. Let me see that. Let me go to members here.
How good is it?
I could just probably change this right now. Let me get. I updated it, and let me just get rid of the closer. All right, he's done. All right, let's see who else. Who was the other one we got here? The Body Snatchers on there twice.
Yeah.
Where's he's okay? Well, I want to give him the. Is he? Where is he? I'm looking. Oh, Body.
He's in the 2.
Oh, okay, there he is. Let me save that one. He's done. He's gone. All right, there we go. Anyway, welcome to the podcast. Now, I got a special announcement. Hey, I know we got somebody you guys want to get to, but I do have a special announcement. We're gonna go to. We'll skip the shop for right now. We'll get to the shop here in a second. But as you guys know, we kind of break boundaries around here. You know what I'm saying? We get some of the craziest guests on here. I mean, you may never know who we get on here. We might get some crazy talent like riding fish sometimes, but we get CEOs on here, and I'm not going to make an announcement of who we're getting, but in the future, because we never know. But I'm going to tell you, we've done something different to Throttle Iron, and I don't know if you guys know it, but we have now a 24/7 running channel that's live, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, playing back every single podcast that we've ever done. All right, and people can go in there into the chat and that kind of stuff. It's also got advertisements, for people that want to go in there, commercial kind of things that ours, and it's pretty wild. So if you want to go and subscribe, and that would help us out, go to youtube.com and then / then put @Throttle Iron TV. All right. So check it out. It's going to be running 24 hours a day. You can jump in there at 3 o'clock in the morning. Maybe somebody's in there you can chat with, that kind of stuff. Maybe if Riding Fish is up and he's wants to jump on there and see some live podcasts. It's not really live. There's going to be people there live, but maybe you can get a couple subscribers. I don't care if he sponges off us a little bit. I mean, he's bigger. No big deal. I like Riding Fish. Anyway, that's the big news. So if you want to check it out, go there, and it's youtube.com / and it's @Throttle Iron TV, and it's live right now because I can actually interrupt the live with a live podcast. So, all right. Now get to what do you think, Les? You've been watching it. What do you think?
It's actually pretty good. You just flip it on and let it rock and roll, and then it will just play continuously. It's pretty cool.
Continuously. It's freaking wild, and it's random. It just picks our own shows. I put them in there, and it just randomly plays them, which is pretty cool. All right. Yeah. Now get to I know what everybody's been waiting for. I mean, let me see if I get the right one here. We got, who is it? Anybody want to say? You want to take it away from me? You know what? I got to put his name on there. I forgot to.
You didn't put his name on it.
I know.
Yeah, you dropped his name.
There it is.
High school tech guy. I swear.
Ryan RVS Performance.
Oh Lord.
I know, right?
Good God.
Somebody break his buttons over there.
Break them. You know what? I was trying to, I had my software. I was using the podcaster on that one. Let me see what I got here. But anyway, welcome to the podcast.
Nice, Ryan.
We appreciate you being on here. We have a lot of our followers and members all ride Indian motorcycles, but you do pretty much tuning for everything. And we'll get more in depth on that a little bit. But I'm sure a lot of people want to know exactly what are you doing? How? I guess the biggest thing is, how did RVS get started?
Well, officially started off as kind of side work in my garage to make ends meet, and have a little beer money on the weekends. Just essentially, I mean, that like a lot of business, like a lot of small businesses, it was I had a full-time job doing my thing, and needed to make a little extra money here and there, and wrenching on snowmobiles and motorcycles and things like that, lawnmowers, snowblowers at times. That made ends meet and gave us a little extra money, cover the kids' sports and activities and maybe a vacation once a year kind of thing. And then when the economy went to crap, 2008, I launched my website, started pushing effort into that, and put my energy into building my own thing. And in 2010, I left my full-time job career that I had previously and took this on as a full-time challenge to make it happen. So, and here we are about 16 years later, and one of the industry leaders in what we do. So
That's freaking awesome.
It's been quite a ride, honestly.
What was the first motorcycle or maybe moped? I don't know. What was the first thing you ever tuned, and what got you in? What?
Oh, I mean, as far as like current fuel injection tune, or just like as far as general tuning stuff? Because I mean, my first street bike was a '78 Yamaha 650 Special,
Wow.
and of course,
Whoa.
so that needed some true dual exhaust changes, and it needed the pod filters and rejetted and some stuff like that. So that was back when I was about 16 years old. So. But I rode dirt bikes and off-road stuff my whole life prior to that, and we were always messing. So rode snowmobiles my whole life, and I did a stint of vintage ice oval racing for about 5 years, and I've covered a lot of different territory in my life. So
Yes, the old 650 Special, that was a 2-cylinder, if I remember correctly.
it was, yeah. That was it was like riding a big bee. It just
Yep.
vibrated. It just vibrated until parts fell off it, and then you picked them up and put them back on.
Fun fact. Fun fact. My next door neighbor, the first time I ever rode a bike, he had an XS 650.
Yep.
And took me for a ride on that first time I ever rode a bike, and fell in love with it ever since. I was probably 8 years old.
Yep.
Nice.
Yeah, I went up through the ranks. I started in, I'm working on mostly metric bikes back, 70s, 80s metric stuff. Was really where I started, my mechanicking past. And as the snowmobile market grew in the 80s and 90s, I, started working on those, people bringing them in. We're in Minnesota here. We're a big time snowmobile state. Was an avid snowmobiler for a lot of years. And then, ATVs started coming out. So, of course, those start coming in the off season. And the next thing you know, side-by-sides are on the market, and snowmobiles are kind of on decline. And here we go. We're running ATVs and side-by-sides everywhere. And, built ourselves into one of the leaders in the Polaris tuning industry, moved into the Can-Am industry. And then Polaris bought Indian, and I've always been a fan of the brand. And loved the styling of the classic Indians and the history behind the brand. And it was just a natural move for us to take that under our wing and start doing what we do with the Indian world. And here we are, pushing the envelope in it every day, and, pushing the technology and the capacity for these bikes all the time.
Let's see. Riding Maine says pretty much everything I did. My first street bike was a '78 Honda CB 550. All right, just want to let you guys know, go to that live. I'm putting it in the channel right now, and you guys can ask questions. We have an ask question part in the podcast now, so start asking your questions away. Go ahead. Sorry, Ryan.
I only have 3 answers in me, so hopefully they're good questions.
They're very good questions.
Yeah.
We'll see if they match.
All
So
right,
your history goes back with Indian all the way back to the beginning. So
for as far as Polaris goes, the 2014s, we were on them immediately. Yep.
okay, so everybody knows I'm a Thunderstroke guy. So Thunderstroke versus Power Plus, is there any difference, or one's easier than the other?
As far as
Or is it all
tuning
the
goes,
same?
and
Yes.
there's a lot of similarities. The Thunderstrokes are definitely easier to tune. They've got less complicated technology in them, and not as advanced. Plus, we don't have all the encryptions and things to fight that we're coming into nowadays. But yeah, there's pros and cons both ways. sometimes easier isn't always better either. So, and it's nice they have both types of bikes for every type of rider, and everybody has a preference. So, I'm still the old air cooled twin guy. I love those. I love the sound of the cams and the way they work and the way they run, and I just love those motors. So
Right on. Thunderstroke
saw
forever.
I saw my first Chieftain about a year before they were released. We actually had a good friend of mine was one of the engineers over at Indian, and he had a engineer bike out, for testing. And we had our Cub Scout meeting at the VFW in town here, and I come out of there about 10 o'clock at night from a late meeting, and here, I hear this big gruff voice in the dark yell my name, and turn around, and there's this 6'4", 300-pound bearded guy in the dark looking at me. I'm a little scared, wondering who this is, and figured out who it was real quick. And I went over to talk to him, and he said, "Hey, did you see this new bike we're working on?" So I got my first glimpse of a new Chieftain about a year before they hit the industry, before they hit the street. And he let me take that thing for a quick test drive, and I put about 3 miles on it, came back and said, "I'm going to need one of these." And we talked price tags and options, and I said, "I don't know that I'm going to need one that bad. My Boulevard C90 might stick around a while yet." So, which it did for a couple of years, and then I found a good deal on a 14 Chieftain and jumped on that, and I've been on the Indian ride since now. So,
So what's your favorite bike to tune?
Honestly, I really love the FTR.
Oh, yeah.
That is, man, I didn't really like them when they came out. I wasn't a big fan. And through one of the rider groups here that I'm part of, I actually won one in a raffle.
Oh, wow.
Which was super cool to win an FTR in a raffle. Like, wow, how great is that? And so that was kind of my first real introduction into those bikes, and get one back in the shop and be able to really spend some quality time with it on the dyno and learn it and figure out what those bikes are capable of. And I absolutely fell in love with that thing. But about a year of ownership and riding it, and it had to go because I was going to kill myself on it.
Oh, wow.
It's just one of those bikes where you get on it and it just effortlessly does everything. And you find yourself coming out of corners way too fast and riding way too aggressively for the conditions without trying to. And I had to think about my kids and my life and go, yeah, this thing needs to go before I have a problem.
Isn't that the one they discontinued?
Yes.
I believe they just, they did. Yeah.
Do you feel that was a mistake?
No, I don't think they ever really sold well. I really think those bikes didn't have a good following in general at all. And I don't think it was a bad bike. I don't think it was engineering. It wasn't anything about the bike. It was our U.S. industry and market.
Do you think
the consumer base here just doesn't want that bike?
Do you think it was before its time for Indian?
It might have been a little bit. Yeah, I think had they come out with an air cooled version of it, they probably would have sold better initially, and then moved into a liquid or something. But then they wouldn't have been as dominant on the flat track like they were.
Well, and another thing, I think with King of the Baggers and the popularity it is right now, I think if they release something like that now, it'd be much more, ready to go.
Well, also you see a lot of people buying the Challengers and Pursuits and those bikes and turning them into bagger racers essentially for the street. It's a really, really popular thing to do right now.
Well, it seems like more people are looking for it now.
It seems like everybody in the world talks about it. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. I mean, that FTR was really underrated. I mean, it had basically the same kind of horsepower and torque that the Challenger does, with a much higher rev limit and about half the weight. So yeah, that thing's an animal. Yeah.
Looks like
they really are. They're a fun bike. I mean, someday I might buy another one just to have it around and occasionally ride, but for now we're gonna stick with something a little slower for my system.
Just to give you a heads up, Ryan, I don't know if you're on your laptop. I think it's the right side. There's maybe a pop-up window you can see comments. Just to get you. See it?
No, I can't. I see no comments. Oh wait, maybe. I bet you it's closed. There it is.
Okay.
Yeah,
I found it.
there it is. Okay.
I opened it. I had to expand it.
It's all good. If you just would, I mean, I don't know what that was. That was a ding. But anyway,
I didn't do
It was
It's probably Chris.
It was different. I wasn't me.
Yeah,
Those
high
are
school
the-
tech guy.
Yeah, high school.
and it wasn't a rubber chicken, so I know it wasn't the dog.
Yeah, I mean, if you feel like answering somebody's question or something like that, go ahead. That's fine with us. I know
yeah, I
we're
hadn't
going to
even-
the stories. Mark McDave here, which is from Columbus. I know him. He's a really good guy. He said he got a tune from you, and he said Roadmaster gave me a totally different bike. Thank you, he said. So,
No, you're
Nice.
welcome. Thank you for the business.
Yeah.
We like to say we love hearing that information back.
Yeah.
That yes, but I know for our customers that have called in, many of them have talked to Katie. She's essentially a bubbly Barbie doll that looks like Wednesday Addams, and so, she's
Okay,
a little
man.
different than what you think. And a lot of people, and she's just really sweet and bubbly and whatever and happy all the time. And people kind of dismiss her occasionally based on how she sounds on the phone. And they don't realize that, she grew up in a multi-line dealership. Her family owns a dealer that's actually about 3 blocks down the road from us. And, at 41 years old, she has raced motocross semi-professionally in her past. She has more knowledge in this industry than a lot of people will ever have, and is a really valuable asset to our business. So I got to give a big shout out to Katie, because without her, I wouldn't have a right arm in this place.
nice.
I love it. That's
Okay.
fantastic,
But I-
Katie.
I do want to ask one question before we leave this subject, though.
Mhm.
Although the majority of our audience are Indian riders, we do have a lot of subsets here with the Harleys and the Kawasaki Vaqueros and those kind of bikes. Do
Yep.
you still dabble and tune with those kind of bikes
A
too?
little bit here and there. I mean, we'll take them on a select basis, basically. I actually had a Harley come in today. We had to do some stuff for him. He had a Power Vision that just shorted out on him. He's actually on a road trip passing through today, and just found us online and called us, and we happened to have the right unit on the shelf for him, and he popped in and we got him taken care of. So, small part of our business. I mean, we handful of Harleys a week, not really as many. But yeah, we don't usually turn them away. Some of the other stuff, the lesser brands, maybe don't do as much with, because we just don't have the equipment, maybe, or I just don't have the knowledge base. So sometimes we have to, just turn people away based on comfort and confidence in our ability. I don't want to mess your vehicle up. I'd rather make sure I know what I'm doing, and
All right.
refer you to a better source if need be. Absolutely.
Where is your shop located at?
We are in Cambridge, Minnesota, about 45 minutes north of Minneapolis, St. Paul.
That's awesome. So I know one of the things that we talked about earlier, and one of your original stories is about a supercharger. You want to talk about that bad boy?
So we have it's become affectionately known as the Spider-Man bike. It's one of a number that Frank Highland owns. He's got a bomber bike and a few other cool customs that he's done, and we're in the middle of building another one for him right now. That we did a Lloyd supercharger kit on that with the 116 up from the 111, some custom Carrillo rods and a whole bunch of other parts in it. Apparently the stock motor doesn't hold the power we were trying to build, so we went through a few motors on that, trying to get that up and running and going. That bike is a monster. It's in that 180-ish horsepower and torque range.
Wow.
We keep it on a slightly detuned tune for Frank, so that he doesn't get hurt. But when he wants to take it to a dyno night or do something show offy with it, he just plugs his tuner in and uploads the fast tune, and off he goes. So
Nice.
so I did just see a question there, something about a used FTR. Where did that pop in?
Yes.
I mean,
What
really,
would you look for?
yeah, really that's for Body Snatcher, it looks like. I mean, really the FTR, in the market where they're at now, I think the price point is buy the one that's got the most options on it, and the lowest miles, and do what you want with it. So, there's not really any engine parts or things like that to do it. You pick the exhaust you like. I do prefer, I think it was 21 when they made the head pipe and the cat all one piece. So if you can find one earlier than that, you can delete the cat easier. Not that I'm supposed to encourage that, but it's a lot easier to pop that off and throw a really great sounding exhaust on it versus having to replace the entire head pipe assembly. Saves you a lot of money. And then just get a good tune on it.
So Les was wanting to do that. what would you advise him to do? He's got a Power Plus. I mean, you supercharge them. I know
We have not done that. No. I know there's one place out there's done a couple of turbos on the Power Pluses, but I've seen them and they just to me seem awkward. This is not well located, and just it's hard to.
So turbo
It's
would be better.
It's a hard thing to manufacture and process on with the frame mounted intake and all that kind of stuff. It's difficult to make these bikes work with a turbocharger with any forced induction. So I don't know that that's going to be a popular option.
I know the King of the Baggers actually have the second phase breather on the opposite side now. I don't know if that's going to come down in the future.
Yeah, and that for them, that's just a matter of, I believe, just reversing the the intake and putting the throttle body on the other side. Just turning it around. So that's a relatively easy thing for them to accomplish because they're running all aftermarket everything. There's no factory ECU. There's no factory throttle bodies. None of that on those bikes. So, yeah, there isn't much on them that's a factory original part other than maybe the engine case. I think everything else on them is pretty much custom done just for those bikes.
Yeah.
So,
I just want to remind
I'm
everybody.
I'm no expert in the King of Baggers bikes by any means. So,
No, you're good. I do want to remind everybody that, hey, if you have a question that it's really serious about tuning and stuff like that we will spend a little bit of time on. We're going to do questions here and, at the pretty end of the show before we wrap it up. I gave you guys the link right there. It is the link. Make sure you go to throttleandIron.com/live. We have a couple questions in there already. And if you do ask a crazy question, I do have the ban button there. So just give you a heads up.
You get a ban button. Do I get banned or do they?
No, they get banned.
It's actually been used a time or two.
Yes, it has. It's been great.
Competition to see who could get banned first.
Yeah. But also like and subscribe to the podcast. If you're new to the podcast, we have a podcast every Tuesday night at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We also have a live channel where you can watch the reruns of our podcast. We literally have, I think it's 16 days worth of podcasts. We've been waiting for this for a while to be able to share this with everybody. But yeah, it's freaking crazy. So anyway, let's get back to him. So I guess tuning. I know we talked a little bit of tuning, and I think I'm going to go in a little bit more in depth in the 101 of tuning. So if somebody wanted to get a tune, it's better to get some aftermarket exhaust, probably get rid of the cat delete, like you said, maybe get a second, what is it? The intake and breather. What else should they get before they come to you?
Yes and no.
Okay.
So the thing that I'm going to kind of let a little cat out of the bag here.
Okay.
One of the big industry secrets that a lot of guys don't want to let you know because they want to sell you all the parts.
Yeah.
You go to the dealer, you spend $1,800 on a high flow intake and a set of slip-ons, and they flash it to stage 1, and you leave, and you're like, oh my God, my bike has so much more power. 99% of that was in the tune. It was not in the parts that you bolted on that you spent $1,700 on.
Nice.
So these bikes are, if you haven't seen throttle maps and curves and the shapes of the ramps and that kind of stuff, all of these bikes are limited from the factory in throttle opening percentage and torque percentage and power delivery right out of the box. And you bolt on all the parts and they lift those limitations a small percentage. They increase the throttle rate so that when you twist the grip, it responds a little quicker. And your seat of the pants says, oh my God, I gained a bunch of power. And because I got all this money spent. Most of these bikes, you can tune them stock and get almost everything out of them that you're going to get without the intake and exhaust change. It doesn't make that much difference with those parts.
So Ryan, that seat of the pants thing that you talked about there, it's called the assometer.
Yes, the butt dyno. Yes,
Butt dyno.
Both ways. Yes, yeah. So your butt dyno thinks, "Oh my God, I gained 100 horsepower," and you didn't. But when you twist the throttle, the correlation from your wrist to your brain is faster, so you think it's quicker. So same thing with the drive modes on these newer bikes. The standard mode, you've got to turn the throttle all the way to 100% in order to get 100% throttle body. In sport mode, they take that same curve and they compress it to 45%.
Yeah.
So at about half throttle on the twist, the throttle body's wide open. So that's why it feels like you gained a whole bunch of horsepower and a bunch of performance. Really, it's just the throttle. It's just the throttle opening twice as fast or 10 times as fast, depending on where you're at. So, yep.
Can you explain the difference in the two standards of tuning? I've seen videos on this, and I really don't understand it. And if I'm saying it wrong, please correct me. There's
In the
two
differences between
readings
what?
on every dyno chart. Two readings on
Oh.
every dyno chart, right?
Well, most dyno shops, if they're being, pretty clear on what they're doing, they're going to bring a bike in, they're going to put it on the dyno before they make any changes, and they're going to do several pulls and get a baseline average. Most shops will probably grab the one with the lowest number of the of 3 pulls so they can make the bigger number. Of course, marketing. We try not to do that. We try to grab an average, take the middle one as much as we can. And then they'll do their work, retune the bike, and then they'll show you after changes so you can compare what changed between the two lines. And the bigger those gaps are, the more you gained in that area. So it is really critical when you're looking at dyno charts. Don't focus so much on the 2 numbers at the bottom, where you're gaining, because all that tells you is the peak number of maximum to maximum. You have to look at the lines and what changes, where it changes. If you can pick up 25 horsepower, but if from say 0 to 4,000 RPMs, you gain 1 or 2, and then it all gains up over 4,000 RPMs, that's not a real streetable function. How many of you guys are riding around at, close to the rev limit on your bike all day long? Nobody. So you got to look at where the power gains are and how they're done. And that's something that we focus really hard on with our tuning, is maximizing the big low end torque and power gains, down there, down where everybody drives, that 2,000-3,000 RPM range where you're spending most of your time.
Okay, maybe
so,
I didn't say that right. Are there 2 different maps in tuning when you run it on a dyno? Are there 2 different maps that do something? One's good and one's bad?
The baseline number would be on whatever map was in the ECU when the bike showed up. So it could be a full 100% stock bike, all stock tuned, or it could have some bolt-ons and still be stock tuned, or have another company's tune in it, whatever it is that you're starting with. So you always want, ideally, to show your customer honest data. You want to have a baseline, and then you want to show them the after. So when you see a lot of these charts where you only see one set of lines, one line is horsepower, the other line's torque. And when you only see one pair of lines on there, that means that they either didn't get a baseline, or they don't want to show you the baseline, or whatever the case may be. Some of these things are, every dyno is different. They all, the more they get used, the more they wear in, the looser things get, the easier the numbers climb. Sometimes things are skewed off by percentages. There's things, like in our case, we're probably one of the only ones in the motorcycle industry that have a dual drum dyno, because we do so many ATVs and side-by-sides as well. That additional drum is 1,500 pounds to get rolling. So when you put a motorcycle on there, on somebody else's single drum dyno, they've got a 1,000, 1,200 pound roller to turn. We've got 2,200 pounds worth of roller to turn. Well, you don't accelerate that weight as quickly, and your horsepower torque stuff is all basically distance over time. And so if we can't spin that weight as quickly, our numbers show up lower. So when you look at comparisons, a lot of times our numbers are going to appear lower baseline, lower finish line, but the differences between them are what matter. So it's not so much that you have the big giant bragging number at the end. It's what's it do on the street? Where's that power land? And how usable is that power? That's what really counts.
Yeah, so Roland Throttle's in the comments, and he's asking. By the way, I was hanging out with Roland Throttle here a couple weeks ago at Bob in the Mountains.
Yeah, you went to the dark side.
Bluefield, West Virginia, and Drew, you got to get the dates for next year so we can reserve some time. But he's asking, are you actually getting to wide open throttle or max throttle position? Are you actually getting there at the throttle body?
On an all stock bike, in some cases, no. The factory sometimes limits them to 70-80% throttle opening in an all stock form. So, and in some cases, even in the off-road industry, we see limitations as much as 40 or 45% throttle opening at full throttle request.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So sometimes that's a way that a manufacturer can build multiple units at different cubic inches or different horsepower levels and use the same power plant and drivetrain to sell three different vehicles at three different platform levels.
Sure.
So
sure.
You can have a 400, 600, and 800 cc ATV. It's all the same motor. They just shut the throttle down, call it a 400, and it makes 30 horsepower. And then the 600 makes 50, and the 800 makes 80 because they just open the throttle up more.
Wow.
And
So
change calibration.
so they're being deceptive a little bit, huh?
Oh, absolutely. But in our industry, that makes good money because we can encourage customers to go buy that cheaper machine because the price tag changes exponentially with the horsepower as well.
Mhm.
So you don't walk in and buy an 80 horsepower side ATV versus a 30 horsepower one for the same price.
Sure.
But you can buy the smaller one, and for $400 or $500, maybe $1,000, depending on the application, you could pick up sometimes as much as 30 or 40 horsepower on some of these vehicles with nothing more than flashing the ECU.
So if Ryan disappears after this podcast, we'll know that the OEMs got to him.
No, I'm not going anywhere. I can tell you that. So, I don't think anybody from Canada is going to come get me. The Can-Am guys are doing a really good job at that the last few years. Their new Outlander line over there, the 850s and 1000s, are the identical vehicle in every platform. Yeah,
wow.
And every part on them, they're the same exact vehicle, but being those are CVT clutch driven, they put heavier clutch weights in the 850 to keep the RPMs down, and they close the throttle down at like 50-60% instead of 80%.
Wow.
So
Wow.
So it's the same vehicle, but one of them makes 20 more horsepower because they just calibrate it slightly different. So
wow.
Yeah.
Well,
So that's been a big seller for us, is tuning those, and the cost between the two is about $3,000 buying the two different
Ouch.
vehicles. Yeah. So you're paying
Wow.
$3,000 for a flash at the dealer that you can have done for a couple $100.
Wow.
Wowzers.
It's all about the money.
And I said, and that goes back to, like I said, with these factory bikes, on your Thunderstrokes, a lot of those, they're, now with the sport mode, they're usually a little more opened up than they were. But back in the beginning, they were only opening those throttles up about 70% on a stock bike. So, you go in and you pay all the parts and upgrades for a stage one, and they open that throttle to 80% or 85%. And that's where you're all of a sudden you got a whole bunch of power. Well, you didn't. You just got more throttle opening, and they lift the rate of how fast it opens as well at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
So on
Sure.
a stock one, at half throttle, at 50% grip, you might be at 20% throttle opening, and after the stage one, you might be 25% throttle opening at the same position.
Mm-hmm.
So it opens quick.
Now, does Harley do the same thing?
They do, yeah, yep. They've gotten fly-by-wire on all their stuff, and yeah, they're doing similar things, especially now in the 23.5 ups with the new ECUs in them.
Wow.
I'm not a Harley expert by any means, but a lot of similar stuff coming down the pipe with them, and they're catching up with the Indian road.
I think you mentioned it a little bit. I know a lot of people here probably do have side-by-sides and all kinds of all-terrain vehicles and stuff like that. So you're not just Indian, right? You do a lot of things.
No, we started into the tuning industry in the Polaris market. That was the Polaris Ranger was our target that we went with because we were finding some questionable performance things with those compared to some of the Razor market, and having same engines, same transmissions, massively different horsepower and performance levels between them. And yeah, started diving into why, and questioning some drunk engineers, and got some data here and there, So we get answers like, I cannot confirm or deny, or if you read it on the internet, it's probably true.
Yeah.
So there's
hey,
ways, how we learn some things.
So I see Rolling Throttle in the comments said I went to the dark side for a couple of days. So Drew, you'll be happy to know I actually looked at a Rogue Glide Ultra over the weekend. So she said no go. So but I was in the Harley shop on Saturday, taking a real deep dive at looking at them.
You better tell everybody what you looked at again. For some reason, I had to turn Ecamm AI off. They actually muted you for some reason.
A 2026 Road Glide
Oh, it's
Ultra.
me again. What the hell?
Oh my
No, I'm
God.
kidding. I'm kidding. No, you know what? I mean, the way the world is right now. I mean, it's competition, man. And I think every bike needs new owners. You know, and we gotta get more people riding. That's one of the reasons why we do this podcast is get people interested in it. So, but yeah, I know my daughter boyfriend. They have a bunch of side by sides and they're Polaris. And you also Polaris has a competitor too, right? That you do.
We do a lot with Can-Am as well, BRP out of Canada. Yep.
Yeah.
So, we do a lot of it. And they've got basically two identical platforms of matching units.
Yeah.
Down the line for
My
them.
wife has a Can-Am.
You want my spider?
Yeah, I was thinking maybe
we,
get her.
we have done some spider tuning as well, so that is something we can.
What's the
Yep,
best? I
absolutely.
mean, I know you said the exhaust sucks, but have you ever had a spider in there that you did a good tune on that actually had pretty good exhaust?
I don't think I've seen one that's not stock. Honestly, we don't see very many of them in here.
The sound is
and-
horrible, dude.
I mean, every time. Yeah, good.
Yeah, they don't sound like they would sound good with an exhaust from everything.
Yeah,
I've
they
heard.
probably don't. I'll
They
tell you
don't
the truth.
sound-
But
They're
everybody's
similar. I think the few of them that I've seen, I think they have the same three cylinder inline engines that some of the side by sides are running. So yeah, and there are some great sounding exhausts in the side by side industry there for them, but I don't know that you could adapt one over to a spider, right? I'd have to- We'd have
Interesting.
But
to do some
everybody's
research.
But everybody screams about Akrapovich that's supposed to be the best exhaust for a spider.
Yeah, they make a great exhaust, and it sounds really good. I mean, in general, and everything I've ever heard one on, they sound really, really good.
Mhm.
Yeah, yep, for sure.
Yeah,
But they
somebody's in
also
there.
cost an arm and a leg.
Well, I will agree with you 1,000%. All of these exhaust systems cost 5 times what they should in this industry and all these industries. You know, I mean, it's, you know, I can go buy a full catback exhaust system for my Mustang for about $600, and for the same money, I get a little stainless muffler that goes on an ATV. You know, it's ridiculous what they charge for them. And part of it is just volume of sales. They're not making as many parts and pieces, but some of it I believe is just industry greed in general. You know, it's, you know, we try to keep everything as affordable as we can and manageable for our customer base as possible. But you know, some of these companies are just atrocious in what they charge for things. You know.
Chris, you do have some comments in here.
Yeah, go ahead. What you got?
Did you see at Riders Shipmate? It says, "Hey Ryan, Dan with the Daytona Speedway Pursuit." And he's got, "Thanks for troubleshooting my knock sensor code. The tune is boss."
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, he did. Yeah, he had. Yeah, I remember dealing with Dan. We dealt with him for a few weeks over that. He had a random knock sensor and had some issues going, and yeah, we took care of him.
Well,
yeah.
you're going to like this next comment then. He said, I noticed I get to triple digits much sooner, but I'm looking forward to to Daytona Speedway and getting above the dotted line. 120 miles per hour will get me there, but 130 will keep me there with confidence."
Well, do it safely and responsibly, please. We don't want to hear.
Yeah.
I don't want to hear that they had to pick you up off the wall.
Well, he's
Well,
got
until
Let's qualify that professional rider on a closed course in Mexico.
In Mexico.
yes,
Right.
yes.
he does have
I don't care if he's an
Cams-
amateur rider in Mexico. That's fine. Just don't get hurt.
he's got cams and clutch. Question
Perfect.
mark.
Yeah.
Cams and clutch.
Oh, cams and clutch. So cams, you have to watch what you're buying in cam world. Again, that reverts back to when I said don't look at the two big numbers, because that doesn't tell the whole story. You can put the wildest, craziest cams in a bike you want, and you can make great big numbers. But do those numbers work where you ride that bike and how you ride that bike
Yeah.
in your use?
Yeah.
You know, if you are, again, we go back to, you know, some of these, like, you know, these race cams and things that are out there marketed as race cams and higher end cams. Yeah, you can make 40 horsepower up at 7,000 RPMs over stock, but you might also lose 10 or 15 horsepower under 4,000 RPMs from where you were. Are you willing to sacrifice that and the drivability that comes with that on the street in order to have a 2,000 RPM power band up at the top end and have to spend your time there. You know, in fact, I have a bike in the shop right now that was done. I think it was between Lloyd's and Lawless and a couple other places they built. It's a fairly well-known bike that a local customer here owns now, and he's got some run quality issues and stuff with it. And going through his system with him today, he was telling me that, well, yeah, at 50 miles an hour in sixth gear, this thing's bucking and jerking and missing and running like crap. Well, I think he's got the 550 Lloyd's cams in it or something. And I said, well, you can't ride this bike at 50 miles an hour in sixth gear. You just can't. It won't run there. You know, you need to be in fourth gear doing that. At, you know, keep it over 3,000. And it's a newer Chief, so it's a Thunderstroke. But yeah, he still needs to keep that bike over 3,000 RPMs all the time, or it's just not going to be happy. You know, and he's coming off of, you know, a long time victory in Harley rider, where, you know, you're typically not running those motors over 3,500, 4,000 RPMs in most conditions. And now when he gets on this one, he has to relearn to keep it over 3,500 all the time. And it's a hard thing to do. You know, it's loud and it makes a bunch of noise and it sounds like you should shift gears, but you can't.
Yeah. So, you know, one of the things that I learned when I built my Harley motors, spend some time and really understand where and how you're going to ride the bike. I actually probably went a little too far with mine with the cams and things because I rode it in town a lot, but I wanted a lot of highway speed power.
Yep.
So around town, the thing just wasn't very friendly. It was lurchy, it would jerk, and you know, things like that. Once you got it up to 2,800 or 3,000, man, that thing was great. It was in its element. It was making power and, you know, just like crazy. But same thing, you could not lug the engine at all. It just was not friendly to that. So, you know, one thing,
as long as you go into your build knowing that and you're aware of what the drivability is going to be like, you know, then that's great. And that's one of the things I try to educate my customers on when they do call and ask for advice of, you know, hey, I want
bingo,
that other thing, you know, and, you know, it's like, okay, well, what do you do? How do you ride? Where are you going? Are you a touring rider that does 20,000 miles a year across the country? You don't want 530s, 540 cams in your Challenger. Absolutely not. You're going to hate that bike everywhere you go. You know, stock cams are fantastic for that. The stage 2 cams give you a nice little bump across the board everywhere if you want to spend $3,500 to put them in and get a couple get a couple extra horsepower. It's just, in my opinion, most of the time that's not worth the money for the customer.
Yeah. One of the things I kind of figured out along that journey, you know, when I was doing that was, you know, a good parts supplier or a good tuner or builder will spend a little bit of time with you and try to understand how you're going to ride the bike and make recommendations. Hey, this is the cam profile I'd recommend. This is a lift or duration I would recommend based on your riding style. So a lot of people look at the numbers and go, I want the numbers. That's all that they look at. But they don't look at how the motor performs and what RPM range and those kinds of things. So, you know, a good tuner or a good builder is going to talk to you, understand what your needs are really, and then really and make some good recommendations as to what would fit your riding style well.
Yep, and I've made that mistake over the years, learning the hard way building cars all my life. You know, I've done plenty of big race cams and high stall converters, thinking I want all these big numbers and all this horsepower, and then I get in my car to head to the car show, and I can't, you know, and it's just miserable to drive the thing. It just sucks everywhere you go. You know, it's fun when you get it opened up and actually get in the RPM band where it works, but the streetability just sacrifices. So, you know, and that's one of my big focuses in everything that we do, especially with our tuning, is drivability, streetability, run quality, reliability. You know, those are our core of what we're after when we're tuning. And, you know, we want to maximize the performance out of your bike, but we also want safety. We want you to get on that thing, be able to ride it as consistently and as reliability as if it was all stock with the factory tuning in it. We want it to be more reliable ultimately. So, and if that means we give up a horsepower or two, well, so be it. You know, that's part of the system, you know. Yes, Kevin, I want the stage 2 cams too in everything. Want the I want the BTR Stage 2 cams from my CTSV in a Challenger, so that the thing shakes the house and rattles everything at idle. But making those cams and making it work in a bike would never happen.
All right, Connie, what do we got here before I go to the shop?
Well, also, rather
What were you doing?
in the beginning of the podcast,
Yeah.
Mike Sampaio was on here,
Mm-hmm.
and he said something about, I'm trying to find it. He said, thanks in advance to Ryan for all his help with the Folds of Honor bike and Lakeville Indian motorcycle.
Oh yeah, we're super excited to be part of that this year. I'm
Yes.
I'm incredibly honored and humbled to be part of that build. That is that's something I never thought I would ever get to in my life. I never, there's days where I go to work and I look around and I go, wow, who knew I would be where I am today? If you asked me 20 years ago where I would be, this is not where I thought I'd be. So
that's fantastic.
it is. I am. I'm super grateful for all of our customers and all of my friends and family and people that have supported us over the years, and the opportunities that we've had to do some of this stuff. It's an unbelievable honor in some cases to be able to do this, and and we have the best customers in the world all the time. I very rarely do I ever get somebody call and yell and complain, and it almost never happens. Because we make sure our people are trained and educated and on top of their game, and we through the phone and not just email only and things like that. There's important stuff with our service base that we do, and that helps build our reputation, and it's built us into something that like I said, I never expected to be. So I'm really happy where I'm at.
All right.
I'm hoping I can do this longer. I love what I do every day. I look forward to coming in to work and doing what I do. And
Nice.
That's
you
awesome.
sound like you enjoy what you do.
Yeah.
So that's
I do.
what's
I
important.
absolutely am.
I know Les is already on his making trip plans there already. He's going to get
There you go.
he's going to
Right?
get a tune from everybody.
We love visitors. That's always good. Yeah.
Chris, Indian Fanboy, has a question
What?
too when you get to those.
Okay. I'll get to that one here in a second. Guys, if you guys want to check out, if you go to throttleiron.com and go to /live, I know there's some people seeing the old podcast on there, but go ahead and post your questions in there. Let me see how many questions we got right now. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Our night's going to be easy tonight. So
Wheels Divided is going to complain we're not closer to Florida. I wish.
That's funny. Yeah.
Well, Wheels. The good news is we have about 100 remote tuning locations around the country.
Nice.
All of them are Indian focused and Indian based. That's a small portion of it, but we do have places that are off-road places that do have the equipment that could tune your Indian there as well if we wanted to. So you may not have to come all the way to us to get the work done if you don't want to.
Yeah. So
we do a lot of remote tuning. We have tuning devices we ship out, and we can flash your stuff directly. All of those tuners give us the ability to data log, data monitor, run diagnostics remotely. We can simply email you updated tunes or just upload them to your cloud account directly in minutes. So that's one of the perks and one of the advantages we have that none of the other guys do really. Is we have these tuning tools and equipment that they don't offer.
There's actually a very good question in the comments, and I don't know if it's in the question list or not, but I want to make sure we ask this. Is it difficult to tune an ECU that's already been tuned by a different group?
No. Nope. We just plug in right over the top of it.
Yep. It's
really that simple. It's no different than when you go to the dealer and they plug in with digital wrench and they restore your ECU back to stock and your tune disappears. We're just putting a different file right into it, or we just right over the top of it. So
gotcha.
Okay, so that leads me to my question. You're going to get compared to the Lloyd's. That's who's everybody's heard of. That's tunes, Indians, and then there's Mad Monkey and a few other people out there, and now you're hearing that Dean Speed's doing tunes. I mean, what's the difference? Is there a difference? I mean,
there's definitely differences. The bulk, I would say, for the most part, core, what we're all doing is very similar. I mean, the common stuff of, moving speed limiters and rev limiters, and, that's just changing numbers in a box to be where you want them to be. That's simple stuff. The knowledge base within the ECU and the tables and, how everything work and how all the things integrate within each other. That is where the differences come in, for most of the guys that are in this industry doing Indians, we've been doing this 10 years longer than any of them. So, it's, and not just in the Indian market, we cover a broad spectrum of applications, which gives us a much more broad education on different applications, because it's these same ECUs and the same technology are not just in these bikes. They're in the automotive industry across the board. They're in, this MG1 ECU that everybody talks about in the Challengers and the encrypted one and whatever. Excuse me. They've been in BMW and Mercedes and Audi and all sorts of European cars for 15 years, so it's not new tech. It's just new to this industry,
Gotcha.
Right.
So, yeah.
All right. So
overall, we're all giving you a very similar product. It's just,
I gotcha.
it's more to me. It comes down more to, the customer support. If you have an issue, can you get a hold of somebody? Can you get that problem? Can you get that problem resolved quickly and efficiently and cost effectively? And that matters more at the end of the day than 1 or 2 horsepower at the wheel.
Yeah, because we have a friend that just got a 116 bore on a Power Plus, engine, and I know he's been looking around, trying to find a good tuner because he's having a miss. I guess I don't know what's exactly happening to it, but
misfire is pretty common on them. Yep.
Yeah. So he's trying to get that narrowed down and that kind of stuff. So I'm going to recommend him your shop. He's right here in Indiana, so we'll see if he can get up there.
We can take care of that easy.
Yeah, gotcha.
Yep. Misfires are a common thing on them. There's a number of mechanical factors that can trigger it. Throttle body synchronization. People change exhausts so they don't get their pipes tightened up properly. They have air leaks in the system. But there's also an inherent setting level within that misfire detection system for EPA emission standards that is sometimes excessively sensitive. So,
have you found that the CAN bus on the new 2025s and up is got a freaking crazy error rate or anything?
It's a nightmare. CAN bus is a nightmare in general. I want to go back to take this technology off, get all the crap off these bikes, and let's go back to just some basic fuel injection that worked really simple. And I don't have, a giant touch screen in front of my face that makes my entire bike operate. Give me mechanical buttons. Same thing in my cars. Get the crap out. I want mechanical switches, mechanical buttons. I want a dial for my temperature and my fan, for my heat. I don't want to have to sit and push a push button up and down 900 times to change a temperature setting in my car. It's just, it's all too distracting. It's unsafe, and it's just more technology to break. What are we going to do 20 years from now when, look at, kind of probably jumping ahead a little bit on some things here, but with Indian transferring most of the ownership over to this new group, they're going to start, dwindling their support and parts and service for the 14 to 25 bikes. Well, and there's already some 14, 15, 16s that parts are disappearing off the shelf for. And, what happens when everything's a touchscreen and everything's a computer and that technology is all proprietary and nobody can get their hands on it? Who's going to go reverse engineer that? Who's going to build those replacement parts in the aftermarket? It gets to be, you're seeing it in the automotive world over the last 20 years too. Same thing.
Yeah. Well, the 111s are gone, and everybody knows that probably the Thunderstroke engine is probably not too far behind. That's my opinion.
Yeah, the air-cooled engines are going to die off. I'm pretty sure this year. I think will be the last of those. You're not going to see them carrying on much farther.
Yeah. So
especially with new ownership and having to maintain upgraded EPA standards, they're not going to want to
Yes.
spend it. They're not going to want to invest in maintaining that on models going forward. It just won't sell.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
and it's not economical to make 2 engines. It's just not. So
Not
No.
not
There
with
you
such a
go.
small company like
Or 6 different engines.
yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, they did.
that's
Yeah.
true.
You know, there's a
Mhm.
lot of things. There's a lot of stuff that kind of overlaps there. You know, between the FTR, the Scout, and the Challenger, all 3 of those engines kind of overlap each other in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
But
So our
distinctly
vehicles are-
different power level and power bands in them. But as far as design and stuff goes, they probably could, if they really wanted to, they could probably take that same engine or all 3 engines, combine it into one, and get multitudes of levels. You know, like we were talking earlier, they could build one engine and have it perform 3 different ways if they wanted to.
Mm-hmm.
We're gonna get to dyno stories here in a second, so hopefully you got some good ones. We're gonna put you on the on the hot seat here in a second, so you can give.
I
us
don't know
some
if I
more
get 10 minutes of dyno stories, but
yeah, we'll pass that through. I just put universal time in there because we want the podcast to be about 1 hour and 30 minutes. But
Sure.
when Max is yawning and stuff like that, I try to prolong it as long as I can. And
right?
yeah, because it's just good for him.
I'm with you, Max. I'm ready for bed.
Read
It's
between
been a
the lines,
long
Chris.
week already.
Oh my gosh, it's crazy. Yeah,
And I'm not the only one that yawns. Wes yawns too.
Max is retired and he stays up to like 8 o'clock in the morning and then goes to sleep. And then he kind of wakes up around 3 o'clock and the first place he goes is get coffee. And then he goes to Indian dealership and just dreams about
Okay.
Power Plus motorcycles.
No,
And then
no, I
when he
don't care
comes,
about Power Plus. And number one, I'm a tea drinker, not a coffee drinker. So there you go. That's your first.
I got it
mistake.
completely
Well, that's
wrong.
part of the problem right there. Good Lord.
My tea is more caffeine in it than coffee. I drink Morning Buffalo.
Hey, Connie,
So
did,
It
there
don't
you go.
matter.
did you see
Yeah,
anything
it
on there?
does.
Or
I see
So-
all kinds of things on here.
oh yeah, what do you got?
Yeah, I'm sure you do.
Oh yeah.
do.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, I see a comment here for Power Plus and the Chief frame. I
Mhm.
could see them doing. I don't know that motor would fit in that frame.
Yeah, I
At
don't
least
do
not
it.
in current configuration.
They probably have to retool it.
But I bet you the Scout motor bolts right in it. Pretty easy.
Oh, it looks like George is on here. Awesome.
Oh,
So there are some options there. You know.
Three
So-
Rivers Harley. That's George's dealership. He's actually a dealership here in Pennsylvania. Great guy. He's been helping me get some guests. It's been awesome.
Nice.
So has Ride Culture Mike Sampo. He's been getting me some guests also, which has been pretty cool.
Yeah.
I've been working on a lot of things.
Mike sent me over.
Yep, he did, and it's great to have people like that in the industry. I mean, it doesn't matter if you're riding a Harley or Indian. They want to help out. They want to spread the goodwill towards everybody to get them on 2 wheels. I think it's freaking awesome. I do want to thank him.
hey, Chris.
Yeah, good.
Hey, Chris.
Yeah.
I want to thank George too. He's been a real big help in trying to get my bike back to the house
Oh wow.
and out of Las Vegas.
Is it still in Las Vegas?
It's still in Las Vegas, but
Oh, wow.
George is working on it.
Nice.
I don't know if people know that we also have an app coming out, and I'm actually I've slowed down the development, not to the beta testers. Basically, I haven't had very much feedback of having errors and stuff like that. I've just been refining certain things on it, and it is getting ready to go RC1 pretty soon. That's release candidate 1. So just let everybody know that will be coming out pretty soon. It has GPS, iron butt rod. It's got everything in the world in it. It's freaking cool. You guys will like it. So far, I tested the new build today and had no issues at all. I know people were probably wondering what's going on with that. I got like 30 people testing it. So, but if you're in there is going to be an update pretty soon, and then it's going to go to release. And then how it goes, Apple can nitpick every single thing on the app, and I'll have to change this, I'll have to change that, and then finally that list gets so low that they actually approve it eventually. Android is coming next. I mean, as you guys know, we have beta testers on Android, and Android's a little bit easier to be okay with, so it's pretty cool. Let's see, just started working with Ryan. Oh, so maybe it's somebody that's working with you. And the job he did on the TS111, I'll get
Thunderstroke.
yeah,
Oh,
Thunderstroke. There, that guy right there.
111.
Yeah, I think I don't know. I recognize the conversation from there. I don't remember his name off the top of my head, but yeah, I think he just got a wideband kit for his bike to do some serious data logging with, and that's one of the things that we can do with these, especially with the power revisions. It's really easy. You can get a wideband kit and pop a couple O2s in your pipes, and you can ride your bike around on the street, and it does the same thing as us being on the dyno. And you can record those logs and you email them to me, and I can make all the calculations for airflow and fuel, and I can update your tune and email it back to you. And a couple minutes, you flash it in, and you're off and riding again. So
wow.
same, so the customer can do the same process we do in house essentially.
I can't wait
with
to have
real
this with Indian.
data. So yeah, it's really nice to be able to do that.
All right, so let's go some dyno stories now. Don't get any insurance issues or anything like that. Lawyer issues. Let's just go with.
I mean, honestly, our dyno stories are pretty minor because we stay on top of making sure that what we got in there works. When customers build stuff and bring it to us, and we have a pretty thorough checklist of going over tires and belts and chains and coolant and oil levels and all that kind of stuff before we even put anything on there, especially if we don't build it. So, we want to make sure that what they're bringing us is ready to run sometimes. But yeah, we've had some tires go. We had, I think we did for Quad Shop Customs over in Wisconsin. He builds CVT clutches for they offer ATV side-by-side network. And we had a stock ATV on there that we had just removed the speed limiter on for him to test the clutch and overdrive capability of it. And at about 106 miles an hour, the tire caught the lip of the plate around the drum and stopped that thing dead in its tracks. That was a pretty scary moment when that happened, running about 9,000 RPMs at over 100 miles an hour and have it just go and stop. Never had an ATV go that fast on the dyno, so that's how good his clutch was. We've blown a few back tires on motorcycles. Like I said, that supercharged bike we had that motor throw a couple holes in it. The first couple motors did not hold up to the power levels that it was trained, and we weren't even making much power initially on that. But yeah, other than that, nothing really scary. I haven't had any close injuries. No, haven't had to worry about my man parts or anything underneath me. Everything's been pretty safe, But we do build some pretty crazy stuff once in a while. I was telling the guys before the show, the week before the 4th of July, we just finished up building a Can-Am X3, which is a 1,000cc turbocharged side-by-side. And that one there was making just a little under 600 horsepower when we sent that out the door for the customer. And those are about 200 stock. So yeah, close to a 400 horsepower gain on that with a big turbo kit and injectors and all sorts of upgrades to make it hold up and survive. So, yeah, so we not nothing, unfortunately, real eventful on the dyno, and we like it that way. Because we don't want eventful dyno time. We want everything to go smooth and consistent and safe in there.
Yeah, no doubt.
It is. It's definitely the one room where the most bad things can happen in our building. So we make sure really hard to make sure that that's safe in there and keep our customers out of the way and safe from all that. So yeah, we got a door with a window on it so they can peek in and watch. And, it's as close to access as they get, and it works.
Yeah, I was watching a car being tuned, and they had dual turbos, and I guess whatever that blade spinning thing inside the turbo.
Oh yeah, there's those
just
things.
Freaking shot all over the place. It would have killed somebody that was there.
They're doing 40, 50,000 RPMs or better. Some of the turbo wheels, and when if they come out, it can be really bad. So you got to watch out for stuff like that, and it happens especially when you're really pushing things to the limit. So 99% of our customers are not that customer. Yeah, they're just everyday guys and girls and men and women that want reliable, a little more power. Hi, Amanda.
Yeah.
Sitting there up front. We, like I said, it goes back to we're trying to build quality, reliable running vehicles for people. whatever application it is that we're supporting at that time. So
Sure.
it really comes down to that more than anything, so.
Yep. All right, so we're gonna do some polls here, so you guys can have some fun here. Let's see. I'm gonna get rid of the merchandise thing here in a second. All right, so some people already did the polls here, and so the first mod on a brand new bike, what would it be? So far, we got 9 votes. The poll is still live, so keep going.
Exhaust, absolutely. It's got to sound good before you do anything else.
Yeah, definitely. So if you guys don't know how to do the poll, please go right here, and we'll continue talking while we're doing this poll.
Yeah, seats and suspension don't matter. You don't have to be comfortable to look cool.
Hey, but when you should make these polls relative to age, Chris, because the old guys would be like seat and suspension. The young guys would be like exhaust.
Hey, I'm an old guy. I'm an old guy now. I turned 50 in February, so I'm officially over the line now.
Wow.
And, and I still want an exhaust. I just don't want it quite as loud as I used to. So
Yeah.
I
understand.
had to put my zombies back in because my wife said it was too quiet. She said she couldn't.
Oh,
hear me
you
anymore.
didn't.
And
wow.
Oh
Yeah.
my God,
Chris,
You've got
Chris,
to be
you-
kidding.
You are relegated to the back
And,
of the pack, man.
on Friday, I
Great.
plan on
That thing's
going over to
obnoxious.
by Les's house and spend a couple
Connie,
tires.
is that true? Did you tell him that?
I did tell him that, yeah, because I
Well,
want
then
him
it's
to
your
ride.
fault then.
I want him to ride in the back behind me
Oh, well, that's where he's at. That
at
thing's
the back of the pack,
obnoxiously
baby.
loud.
I guess that's one of the
God.
things. Even though you had hearing protection on, what is the loudest bike that you've ever heard on a dyno? That's got to be loud, right?
Besides Chris's.
I mean, it's like
Man, I mean, there's been bunches of them that just have these little like 2-to-1 short, turnout that's 6 inches long with a hard 90 on it. I mean, that's about as obnoxious as it gets. We've had some Harleys that just have straight, 1.5 pipes coming off the head, right straight down at the ground. I mean,
Wow.
that's about as loud as it really gets ultimately. But the big turbo supercharged stuff usually isn't as loud because they, although that supercharged bike, the supercharger makes more noise than the exhaust does. I think that hearing that thing scream by your feet is pretty intimidating.
all right.
So
Well,
it's
it looks like exhaust is winning. I mean, I guess everybody. I think exhaust would be a no-brainer, right? So
Yep.
I mean, who
That's a
thought?
gimme.
Who thought of this freaking? I'm going to close that one up. I'm going to go to the next one.
Yeah.
If you guys want to go to the polls, make sure you go to Throttle Iron. I'm going to go just put the link in there so you guys
Oh.
can have it. Yeah, go
By
ahead.
the way, Mr. Ryan, I'm 68, so I got you beat. I'm thinking about it. I'm thinking about exhaust and a seat.
There you go. And that's fine. But trust me, I'm thinking about a seat too. That's definitely high on my list already. Yeah. I don't think I've had a bike since about probably 2005 that I haven't at least had the seat modified a little bit in some way.
All right.
So,
New poll is
Fortunately, I got a buddy that does upholstery work, and I can just ride over to his house and we can have
There you go.
a couple of drinks and tear my seat apart and tweak it usually.
Kevin Indian 116 said he's 65 years old here, and I'll tell you right now, he's freaking fast. What I heard, he's like a speed demon.
He's got thus the padded underwear.
Right? Well, padded is better than loaded. So.
Yeah, 100% agree. All right, so we got the new poll up, so go ahead and then start putting the votes in, guys. We got only 4 polls tonight, so keep going, put it out. All right.
Right.
So I guess that's another thing. I'm not trying to put age on anybody, but what is the? I think it's interesting actually. What do you think the oldest person that's ever got a tune from you guys? Would it be Max if he went up there?
No.
In motorcycle world, I can tell you that, I mean, as far as people that have told me their age in motorcycle world, I would say about 76 to 77.
Wow, that's
Wow.
pretty interesting.
Side by side world, I had a guy a couple years ago that was 88 and had his Polaris Ranger all tuned up and hot rodded. Yeah. So, yeah, he was great. He was a character. He was a lot of fun. He wanted everything out of that thing for around the farm.
Well, Les
So,
wanted to
yeah.
break that
Bet he
record, so he
did.
left.
Yep. So yeah. I mean, it's all ages. We get them across the entire spectrum. So
Yep. I just think it would be interesting because I you know, people, if I was that old, and I'd be like, I'd be that crazy because I would just want to get a tune. I'd be like, you know, I just want it to sound good and everything else, and you know, you go around curves, and it's. I mean, I don't know. I just don't know if I was that. I don't know if I would be actually riding at age. Maybe I
they
would.
come in all
Okay.
ages and all sizes of machine and everything. I mean, we've had people. I had a guy drive up from Missouri 13 hours with a 300cc Polaris Sportsman to put it on the dyno because
Wow.
he wanted 0.7 horsepower.
That is nuts.
You know, I mean, it doesn't matter.
0.7?
0.7. That was it.
My
Yeah.
Oh,
God.
that's nuts.
13-hour
But you know
drive
what,
each way and a night in a hotel for less than 1 horsepower at the
Wow.
wheels.
But you know what, Chris? Here's the thing. There's a
Yeah.
difference between the tune I would have got at 35 and the tune I'm getting now. The
Mhm.
tune that I got on my 2019 was the 116 kit in a 111 and a remote tune from Lloyd's. And that thing had plenty of power. It was great. I was very happy with it. I'm sorry it's gone because I never would have got rid of that bike.
Yep.
All right.
See, and I'm the other way around. I went from my 14 Chieftain with the 111, and I went to a 17 Roadmaster that had the Stage 3 116 kit in it, and I hated that bike in comparison. I did not like the power band of that 116. Again, it goes back to that. My 111, I could roll 60 miles an hour in 5th gear down to 30 in town and roll right back out and never have to shift gears. It was no big deal. That 116, I had to downshift 3rd gear to go through town at 30 miles an hour, or it was bucking and jerking and it hated life. And, you know, it just, you know, backs up you got to make sure you build the bike for the way you ride. And, you know, I did not like that one at all. As soon as I built that thing and got it out on the road, I was like, this was a mistake.
Mhm.
So,
All right, so this is an interesting poll here. Your bike, tune it or keep it stock. All right, I got 2 votes in right now, already tuned. First thing I'll do, stock is staying stock. Warranties got me scared. So it's here, and we'll talk about that question about the warranty. Here in a
warranty is a 100% valid concern on this.
Yeah.
You know,
Yes,
there
it
is. I don't
Yes,
care
it
who you
is.
talk to. I don't care what they tell you.
Mhm.
You flash your ECU. The manufacturer can figure it out if they want to. They will know. There is no way to hide that detail and that data anymore. What they do with it is all that matters. You know, if you know you got an issue with an electronic or a CAN bus system or a heated grip or something of that nature, something mechanical on the bike, warranty's not going to get denied for you having an ECU tune for that stuff. You come in with a hole in the side of your motor, and absolutely they're going to tell you to buzz on. And I've heard Lloyd say that they'll our tune doesn't void warranty. Well, I guarantee it does. What it doesn't do is they're just on the hook to pay the bill if it comes down to it, is what he's doing. So, and we would do the same type of thing. I mean, if we tune your bike and it blows up and we can prove that it's the tune, we would absolutely cover that and take care of that on our end on a customer.
Wow.
We would not hesitate for that. But knock on all the wood here. We're probably 60,000 vehicles tuned in the last 15 years. And not a single customer has ever come to us and said, your tune blew my bike up or blew my motor up or caused this problem. So not that we haven't had some hiccups and needed to make some adjustments, because it's computers and it's technology. And, when we're trying to be on the leading edge of this stuff and get stuff on the market as fast as the consumer demands it, sometimes we are having to leap ahead a little bit and, put stuff out that might not be as fully refined as we'd like it to be. But we get it corrected quickly and stay on top of it. So, but no one has ever come in and said, your tune blew me up. So we're good. I'm thankful for that, and that speaks for the core of what we're doing. Like I said, reliability and drivability and run quality is the core of what we're after. We don't want you to blow up.
I was watching Dave's Auto. I don't know if a lot of people watch him, but he had a video last couple of weeks where they built this engine 2 years ago, and it blew up. And he was like, "Okay, we're gonna tear this thing apart." And it's almost 99% the customer's fault. They either blow the damn thing up with too much boost, that kind of stuff. It was a high performance engine, so they're taking this thing apart, and they're piece by piece, and this looks good, this looks good, this is good. Then he goes to where the piston, the ring, not the rings, but the whatever that thing is on the camshaft, or not on the shaft. I guess they're rings, right?
There's rings around the piston. Yeah.
Yeah. So he's looking at him, and he starts looking at it, and he starts getting a face where he's puzzled a little bit. And he's like, son of a bitch. This is like a $60,000 build engine. And he said the rings don't have the oil hole in it for the piston ring at the top. So I guess it pushes oil up.
Yep.
And he says, I will 100% cover this engine.
Yep.
And it's like,
Yeah.
after 2 years, it was freaking
And it's
crazy.
amazing it ran that long.
Yeah.
With that issue in the first place. I mean, even made it off the dyno with it, realistically. You know, that's impressive. You know,
Yeah, it's freaking unbelievable. I mean, hats off to that guy. I mean, if I ever he does trucks mostly, I think. I don't know if you've ever seen his YouTube channel. It's freaking cool. But he's like, 10 million people watch him. It's unbelievable. One of these days, Throttle Iron will be like that. You know what I'm saying? Everybody's gonna share it.
Yep.
I know everybody in here wants to keep Throttle Iron a secret, other than Donna. Donna freaking got us like 20 freaking subscribers this week. I really appreciate her. She's an ambassador. She wants tank top. I'm gonna build her a tank top shirt on Friday. We're gonna get that bad boy shipped out, and you're gonna have some fun with it. But
now that we're the MTV of motorcycle videos, 24/7, every 7 days a week, on a continuous loop.
Yeah.
right? I know what's going on the 100-inch TV in the barn this weekend.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Hey, we'll
have that playing in the background while we're under the lift working on the car.
Damn right. I think it's enjoyable. I mean, I think our podcast is. I mean, I think a lot of people get a lot of information out of it, which is I think it's really cool. And I thank you for coming on. I mean, we still got a little bit more to do, but here tonight. But
well, it's been a blast. I'm enjoying it. So I told you guys in the beginning, I don't do a lot of this stuff, and I said I like being kind of the Wizard of Oz behind the curtain, doing my job and just providing what I do to the industry and the people that we support. But it's once in a while, it's not so bad to come out from behind the wall and show my face and get involved. So
I do need everybody to go to and like the podcast. We got 22 likes, which is good. We got 47 people watching, and some of them are on Facebook, some of them are on another channel. That's great. Make sure you're sharing it. Make sure tomorrow. I mean, I can't tell you enough. And I'll start putting things out on Facebook on tomorrow and say, listen, go and comment on the freaking video. That is the most important. I mean, likes are good. Likes are good right now. That gets people, they turn their TV on. Throttle Iron's live right there. And that's good because people are watching it and they're liking it. The comments after tomorrow around 1 o'clock, go in there and start making some comments. We got some great people to do it, like Greg and all that guy. I'm going to mention him because he's not usually able to watch it because he's working. Tank tops. Yes. Hell yes. I need somebody to help design women's shirts. I mean, I got a whole designer software, but Connie said she's going to do it.
I told you. How many times have I told you that? I got my girls
You've got
right
a
here
wife.
helping me out.
All right. We're gonna do the dumb section now. We're gonna see what AI has done for us with a let me hide the actual polls
Lord.
here. Let's see. Polls are live.
Lord.
All right, there it goes. I gotta turn it off here. I think there we go. All right, so let's see what happens here because he wanted to spin the wheel, so we'll spin it tonight. Let's see what we got.
I didn't.
All right, what questions do we have? Hopefully, it's nothing bad. You can answer.
You know how tiny that is?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
What is the
My
fastest?
eyes don't work that good.
The question is, what is the fastest? And this is for everybody. The fastest you've ever allegedly had your motorcycle at? What speed? Max,
my
your first.
own motorcycle.
yeah.
I think my Challenger's probably been the fastest bike I've had of my own bike. That 140-ish range. We built a Hayabusa with a turbo on it for a guy about 15 years ago. And that I had that well over 200. And that was enough. But I don't ever need to do that again. That was more than enough bike. Yeah.
You know, this is the question that got less of a whole bunch of trouble the last time it was asked.
I know.
I'm staying quiet tonight.
Yeah, my answer's the same. I broke the C note, and my wife knows that I break the C note on all my new bikes to make sure it'll do 100 plus. And then I'm done with it because I don't need to go that fast.
I'm laughing because Mike wants to wear throttle and iron booty shorts, and I really think
we saw that.
We'll get
I thought you were going to wipe that out.
That's going to have to happen somewhere along the way.
We'll make that happen.
No.
Oh, I'm all in on that.
Oh, hell yeah.
I want a picture of it and everything. I'm going to make them on Friday.
No way.
I told him you're going to make them.
We're making the damn thing. All right, I did. I think it was 126 in Canada. So I don't know what that is in American
that's like
speed.
70 miles an hour. That doesn't count.
Yeah. Kilometers don't count. We're talking MPH, dude.
Eagles, not maple leafs. Come on.
All right.
Thank you.
Next one is, let's see, Ryan. All right. Ryan, I don't know what grades is. The crew. Stock and proud or leaving power on the table. I don't know what that means. Let's go to another one. I messed that one up. Let's go.
Yes, you did.
Oh, I got to go back.
What?
Spin the wheels over with. We're done.
I mean,
Freaking wheel broke.
There's
Oh,
nothing
here we
wrong
go.
with running your bike stock and enjoying it and being happy with it where it is. Most people are happy with their bikes in stock form, and that's absolutely great.
100%.
Lame. Oh,
All right.
I'm
Most
about
horsepower.
get out there and ride. Don't worry about the rest of it.
Yeah, exactly. What is the most horsepower you ever seen out of a bagger?
That supercharged one that Chief we got there at that 180s. Yeah, that's the highest thing I've seen in my building.
Sweet. All right. Well, this will be the last one, and we'll move to next one. Crew. Fastest you've ever. Oh, that's the same one. Come on, man.
The same one.
your wheel is broke, dude.
It's broken, man. It's broken.
Let's move on.
Who's the one that does the spinning wheel? Loudest bike you ever rode into your shop?
did that
We already did that one. All right, so we'll do one more, and we're going to go to the next step. All right, what do we got here? Tell us about the customer who you had no idea what he bought.
Every one of them. That's me. Oh, man, more of them than I can count. I mean, it happens every single day. Customers, they buy used vehicles or used bikes. They have no idea what they're buying sometimes. Dozens of people that have bought into these big, huge, giant cams and then get super disappointed with how their bike runs.
That's the biggest thing. I think it's the biggest myth is that when you say you're going to tune it, you're thinking, oh my gosh, this is going to be the best thing. The secret is make sure before you pull out of the parking lot, you take it off normal mode, because they usually put it in normal mode. So when you put it in sports mode and you say, oh my God, I didn't know it was on sports. No, I'm just kidding. It's a secret.
Actually, for these bikes for the bikes that have the drive modes, I actually spend a significant amount of time in standard mode.
Okay.
Dialing standard mode in, because I kind of take an old school carbureted approach to that. I want think back to we were talking the 70s bikes and stuff. All these bikes with these vacuum operated carburetors, the throttle is very linear, very predictable, very consistent in how it responds all the time, and that's the main target of these bikes. Sport mode has everything compressed into such a short range of travel on the throttle that there really isn't much you can do to change that without reducing what it does. You can't really enhance it, because when you go from 0 to 100% throttle in half the turn of your wrist, that's already too fast for most people, and it's not real drivable. Where if you can take that same type of response and spread it across the whole twist of the whole grip, but give you that low end mid-range snap that you're looking for when you need it, that's really a big thing that I spend a lot of time on. So most of my customers, once they're done tuning their bikes, they never use sport mode because the bike runs better in standard mode and more consistent and more predictable. And
Yeah.
they roll into a parking lot and they can still putter around with their wife on the back and not be, riding the clutch the whole time and not be jerking around because the throttle's so sensitive.
And
know.
I have to admit, that's one of the craziest things, okay, about when I got my bike tuned. And I'm glad you mentioned that because I probably will put mine in standard. Because the other day I was riding and I turned onto a road and I was like, I want to really gun this thing. Not gun it, but I mean, I'm going around the corner and there's some not motorcycles there, but a couple cars. And I just barely touched the throttle before I even said I wanted to do it,
Yep.
And the whole back end of my bike just was spinning. And I was like, holy smokes. I said, that was kind of freaky, And it's just because the throttle is you just barely touch it. It's going to go,
Yeah. And that's because
mode.
in sport mode, even, you said there's, like we were talking the charts, you got, throttle percentage 0 to 100 on one side. And then, you got 0 to 100 in correlation for the butterfly. So in sport mode at like 10% of the twist of the grip, you're at like 25% throttle opening. So you're actually inversed in your response at that point. And the throttle is opening faster than your hand is turning. And versus in standard mode at 10% of the grip, you might only be at 6% throttle body opening. So that's where these people also come in with, the throttle has lag and it feels lazy and it doesn't respond. And it's, because you're changing modes all the time and all three modes work so distinctly different that your brain can't adapt to all of them at the same time.
Yeah.
So like I said, that's part of why I stick with the standard mode and spend a lot of the time mapping that so that it becomes very intuitive and predictable all the time. And then you don't change to sport mode and be, oh my God, this is weird and I can't handle it. And then you go back and it feels dumb and lazy. Well, of course it is, because it's, it takes half the twist to get half the throttle instead of half the twist to get all the throttle. So, yeah. And it's just something that people, and there is no difference in horsepower levels. There's no difference in anything else in the tuning other than the throttle curve between the modes.
Right.
All the other functions are identical across the board.
Yeah.
Nice. I tell you one thing.
I always caught crap because I left my bike in standard mode. I never put it in sport mode. I never even did it.
Yep. There really isn't a reason for it. It's a marketing tech thing that they can put in that costs them.
I thought it was snappy enough in standard, believe me.
I'll tell you one thing I did notice with the tune, and I think this is what reason I think everybody should get a tune. It's just because when you're going like 20 to 30 miles per hour in a city and that engine just jerks like this, you get that tune. I noticed it was almost gone. I mean, it doesn't do that anymore. It's much smoother going in town, going low speeds. And I think Indian has a lot of issues with that. So
that helps some. Part of it is the cams and the design of the engine and the RPM that it's built to run at consistently. So sometimes you're just too high of a gear and not enough RPM to maintain it consistently, and that happens. So pretty typical stuff.
all right, so Wear Performance, and then we're at here. So just tell us a little bit about your shop, how long you've been doing this, where it's at again, that kind of stuff, and we'll get to the questions here.
Yeah. So our shop in Cambridge, we've been in that building now for 8 years. They're coming up on 8 years in that building now. We were previously in another town over in North Branch, which is where I live and where I'm sitting right now. We were there for about 5 years previously, renting space before we purchased the building we're in. And then, and I did a couple of years out of my house building, once I left my last job, building things to the point where I could afford to have the commercial space and do everything, and was pretty much just doing online retail at that point for the most part. So we've been doing, so that's kind of the basics of where we're at. We've got about a 5,500 square foot facility here. We keep, quite a bit of basic inventory on hand, common stuff that we sell. Busy road, lots of traffic, lots of people in town. And we've got a good solid customer base that has been supportive of us for a lot of years.
Gotcha. All right, there's his URL to his website, so check him out. He's got tons of information there. I mean, his website's well designed. Should be easy to find stuff.
Mhm.
Freaking
Oh yeah,
awesome.
I got a 42-year-old troll that lives in his mom's basement that builds the website. He's great.
Your GoDaddy security just hit me though. It says access to
Yeah, once in a while you get whacked with that. Yeah, that's an occasional problem we have to fight with GoDaddy, but because they just host the site, but we build all our own stuff.
Yep.
So.
So it says Can-Am, Polaris, Indian, SuperAtuner.com, STM.
Super ATV. Yeah, there's some of the big brands that we carry parts for. Super ATV is a huge off-road supplier. We do a lot of stuff with those guys. They cover all the brands of ATVs and side-by-sides and anything you can need for them.
All right. Cool. So we'll go to these questions now, guys. Here we go. Let me go to the question screen here, and we'll go crazy.
And I ran out of answers, though. What are we gonna do?
Well, hopefully they got some good questions. I haven't really looked at them, but I will be banning somebody.
I do see here that if we have a tune, do you feel the throttle bodies need to be synced on a regular basis or set it and forget it? Throttle bodies absolutely should not be coming out of sync in general, being with the design of most bikes. Way back in the day, carbureted stuff, things were a little more sloppy and a little more room to move around and whatever. But certainly something that should be checked on an occasional basis, even on these new bikes, because parts wear and tear and things move, and sometimes vibrations happen and things turn. And yeah, it is certainly something I would suggest having checked maybe at a 20,000-30,000 mile interval.
Nice.
Yeah. Maybe when you do your fork seals, have them check that too.
Oh yeah, that's a good point right there. Forks.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So the first question is, Ryan, are you currently training a predecessor to take over so you can sit back and watch?
I am not, and I would like to, because honestly,
That's Will's
I'm starting to look ahead to the point where maybe I can retire and go travel some more. But we may shift plans a little bit. I've had some discussions on maybe doing less website, less storefront shipping process, and moving more just strictly to a tuning platform only. And then I can do that from a cruise ship in the Bahamas. So
there you go.
So that wouldn't suck.
That sounds like a plan.
As long as you buy the internet package.
Yep.
Well, and that's fine. I will buy I end up doing it anyway. I've been on a handful of cruises, and usually January, February is our slow time of the year where I can take a week off or something. And so yeah, but like I said, we have enough remote tuning locations around the globe that I can't just leave those people hanging for a week or two. So I have to at least manage that part. But I have an amazing staff at the building that takes care of anything I need done when I'm gone, and I have zero worries there about anything ever. So. In fact, Katie refuses to send me problems while I'm on vacation because, she just tells the people, "I'm sorry, he's not here for 7 days. You're going to have to wait." So, and most of the time they're pretty understanding. Occasionally they'll find me on social media and force me to deal with them, but and I don't mind some of that stuff. And I've told her, I said, I would rather, get a couple emails every day from her with issues that need to be addressed. Mm-hmm. I'm getting on the computer anyway. I'm doing some work anyway. Issues suck less when you're sitting by the pool with an umbrella drink than when you're sitting in Minnesota.
So along with the internet package, get the drink package.
Yeah.
Yes,
of course. Yeah,
definitely get the drink package.
Yeah,
Chris,
you gotta get everything, or what fun is it?
Yeah, Chris, I hope you're taking notes when we do the Throttle Iron Performance Cruise.
Mm-hmm.
I'm in.
Go.
Yeah,
get everybody to get the internet and drink package.
With short shorts. Yep.
I got my text today from MSC. They're pushing me for the same cruise I did over my birthday here last February. It was 4 nights. We went from Miami, had a sea day, Nassau, went to their private island, and then back to Miami. It was $185 a person for the cruise.
Wow. Oh wow!
Oh
yeah.
Wow!
So there's some inexpensive options out there if you want to go.
Yeah.
Nice.
And that's So and then I think the drink package was only $100. So
Oh wow.
yeah. So which I didn't do on the last one because I really don't drink a lot, much alcohol in general. So for me, it was tougher to do it.
Oh, those dividers are 6 month. Oh, cool. Congratulations.
Nice. Wheels divided.
All right. The next question is what this is from Rolling Throttle. What's the max RPM you can get out of a Scout 101?
I'd have to double check my numbers on that, but I think that motor's safe to like 94, 9,500. It'll run up there.
Let me see what this one is. I don't remember seeing.
I still
This-
have one from Fanboy, but I don't know if you
Oh, go
addressed,
ahead. What's fanboys?
I don't know if you addressed it or not.
Oh, go ahead. What is it?
Yeah, Scouts are probably the least number bikes we tune, so that one's not as fresh in my brain.
Yeah.
I'd have to go look.
Are you
at
good?
that.
What was that, Connie?
Indian Fanboy asks the following question.
Yeah.
Is it possible to tune out 100% of that low speed throttle lag?
I mean, I guess it depends on how you look at it. I mean, it's the lag is the correlation of throttle grip twist to throttle body opening. So yes, you could set it up to open on like a 1-to-1 ratio,
Would
but
you want it?
it would be just suck to drive it that way.
Yeah.
Okay, because he's comparing it to his African twin
Sure. Yep.
motorcycle. Yeah.
Yeah, and again, that's part of going back to where I spend a lot of time in standard mode to make the throttle feel very carbureted and linear and just anticipated to work the way your brain thinks it should. So when you start rolling on the throttle, the response happens the way that you anticipate it happening and not the way they program it from the factory. So, but they do, part of the reason they have that, what people call lag at the low end, is for low speed maneuverability. So you don't have the sport mode thing when you're trying to maneuver around a parking lot, because it's difficult. It's difficult to move at low speeds without riding your clutch constantly and riding the brake and trying to maneuver your bike around. Where if you have a little bit of lazy in the throttle down there in that first 5 or 10%, you can maneuver differently that way.
100%. Yeah, I got you.
Thank you.
Yeah, good
Yeah.
good answer. Good question. Thank you.
And that's another reason too that we have the tuning devices we do too, because like I build tunes the way I build tunes, and that's what we send you. And like you'd said earlier, being at the way you tune a bike at 35 versus the way you tune it at 68 now, you're getting the same tune from me either way. It doesn't matter, but once you get it, if you have some personal preferences in the way things are done, we can simply go in, open your file, we can make the changes, save it, and I can just shoot it to you, and you can send it and you can test it. And if you're happy with it, we can leave it and we run it. If you're not, we can make more changes. So, and we don't currently charge anything extra for that, for that support and, over the lifetime of the bike. So, yeah. So if your dealer flashes over your ECU, we don't charge anything to restore it, put the tune back in it. If it's a half the mailing type ECU, we just ask that you cover the shipping costs both ways. But we're not doing that, $100, $200, $300. Oh, the dealer screwed you up. Sorry. Pay us more money to fix it. It's the hard work's done already, and we've been paid for that. The time it takes for me to plug your ECU in, open your file, and hit the right button is seconds. Ultimately at the end of the day, couple minutes per couple minutes.
2 hours.
Yeah. It takes hours the first time around sometimes. But,
I got you.
Once your tune is all built and matched to your ECU and everything else is ready to go, I mean, for the most part, it's literally put it on my bench, click a harness on it, open your file, hit right, and it goes, beep, and it's done.
Nice.
So, yeah, I mean, some of them take 30 seconds, some of them take 5 minutes, but it just depends on the type of ECU it is and the technology. So it's really a quick process. And if it's 5 minutes, I just turn the other way and I'm doing an email or I'm doing something else productive while it's happening. So, it's not like I have to keep pushing the button every 1 second to keep it operating, So we're set up for efficiency.
That's awesome. All right.
Yeah.
So this question is from Wind Therapy Addict. One of the things I like about keeping my bike OEM is that it runs great and never produces any error codes. Is it possible to get the tune that maintains that reliability while still performing as intended without triggering air codes. I don't think mine's ever had air codes since I got mine tuned.
That is 100% our number one priority in our tuning.
Yep.
Right there is no codes, no errors, better than OEM run quality and reliability. That's absolutely 100% what we're after initially. Yeah. The power gains come behind that by default.
Let's see. Question here, Ryan. Since you have cracked the current Indian Power Plus ECU, do you think that the roadmap for the future cracks are able? I think of like maybe future ECUs and that kind of stuff. I don't.
I mean, I can tell you that it's just going to get harder and harder every time they come out with a new platform. It's going to each level of encryption just gets more and more difficult, no matter what. And we're seeing it running ahead by about 5 years in the automotive industry. Mm-hmm. So, you see stuff over there where, I mean, I remember it was about 2016 or 2017, GM encrypted the Duramaxes with some huge 256-bit military grade rotating encryption. So every time the vehicle powered up, the encryption completely rewrote itself randomly. And that took, I think it was, I don't know, I remember if it was HP or if it was P. I forget who it was that cracked that one. But as soon as they cracked that ECU, they were charging $5,000 to unlock it. And that was, and people were flocking to it as fast as they could, and that was 10 years ago. So, we've come into now similar encryption into these bikes, which has already been, accessed in other areas. So, it didn't, I mean, when these 23 encryption came out, we had access to it immediately. The problem was when we told the market that we could do it immediately and what it was cost, they didn't like the price, so we held off until we could get it more openly available with the current platform that everybody's using, and that brought the price down to what people were acceptable with. So,
all right. So here is we got 3 more questions, and then we're done. What should I expect on a 25 112 Power Plus with slip-ons tuned by RVS? Looking online, most folks say wait till you change the intake. Is this your recommendation as well? I think that intake is nothing.
Yeah, so the stage 1 intake on the Power Pluses is well known to do very little for airflow. It's more decoration than it is flow. I mean, it does add some percentage. It's not, you can't discount it as 0, but the gain from it for the cost is minimal, if any. And then I don't know if this person was watching way back towards the beginning when we talked about the stage tunes where they sell you $1,800 worth of stuff and then they raise all the throttle and torque limits, and 99% of the power gain came from the tune, not from the parts. So we're in the same boat here. The power gains come from the changes in the tuning, not from bolt-ons in the low end stage of things. You start, big bores with cams, big pipes, big heads, big head pipes, all the stuff combined does start to add up and build more power. And you'll see that in those Power Plus motors making 130, 140 horsepower and torque out there. But those guys are spending, $8,000-$10,000 to get to that point as well. So nice. bang for the buck, a tune is your best starting point on all these bikes, whether you're doing exhaust intakes, anything at all, because most of these we can do a tune and get it above the stage 1 power levels from the factory, without any difficulty at all. A lot of times real close to this factory stage 2 levels with just a tune and no other mods. So, that's how restricted these ECUs are and how low the power levels are coming out of them from what they're capable of. So yeah, that's a big one for sure.
All right.
Yeah. And then as far as he has for gains on that too. I mean, we're seeing in the drivability, say under 4,000 range down there, we're seeing, 10, 12 pounds of torque and horsepower down in that range. Peak numbers might only be closer to 3 to 5 horsepower in torque. And again, that's where you don't want to look at the peak numbers. You want to look at the gaps and the lines on the chart and where the power is gained. So low end torque and drivability is where we're really focusing our power delivery.
Hey, Chris, let me take this one. I think this one's more up my alley.
Okay, go ahead.
We got Kev Indian 116. Think he answered this, but it's a remote tune available. He has a 116 stage 1 and 2 via Indian with the tab cat delete catless head pipe is my setup. Currently, Indian stage 2 cam. You put something in the way, Chris.
Oh, it's a. I'm sorry. Can there you go.
Yes.
Yeah,
Oh,
2 can
that's for Kevin
tune.
again.
Thanks.
Okay, so depending on the year of that 116 and what it's in, if it's in like the 21 up, the new body Chiefs, those have MG1 ECUs. Those have to come in for us to unlock them for a tuner to talk to them. And then, but that's a quick, easy thing. We can do that right in house. Takes 5 minutes. For right now, we have an updated tuning tool coming. They're in production right now. So little secret behind the scenes here. That tool will be able to unlock all the Gen 1 MG1s without them having to come in to be paired. Because all the lock on those is essentially just a port lock for the diagnostic port. So you can't read and write them through the port. So our updated tool will unlock that through the port and read and write it through the port without the customer having to pull the ECU out of the bike. So that's going to be, those tools are in production right now. I don't know how fast they're going to be here, hopefully soon. And that's going to update the platform and the way we do things a little bit. But yeah, once that's, if it's a Chieftain, Roadmaster, or pre-21 Chief, any like the vintage Chief styles, all those ECUs, we can simply mail you a Power Vision 3, Power Vision 4, RTD tool. We got a handful of them. We mail you the tool. You'll plug it in, read your ECU, upload it to the platform. We build your tune. We send it back. You're up and running. 20, 30 minutes.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah.
Second to the last question here. Do you recommend throttle bodies to be set as spec or closer to 0.5? I don't know much about that. Maybe you do.
Throttle bodies should be pulling the exact same vacuum, ideally. Yeah, all of them. So whether you got 2, 4, 8, 12 of them, doesn't matter. They should all identically be pulling the same vacuum, so they're flowing exactly the same.
All right. How important is it? And this is one of the we talked about earlier. How is it important to match your upgrades to optimal tunes goals? Not necessarily brand match, but stacking the best result. The parts.
It's critical. That you want to know how you ride, what you ride, where you're riding, what your goals are with your bike. You want to buy the parts that are going to build to match what you want it to do. Again, that's, if you're a long distance touring rider, you probably don't want a 2-to-1 with a short pipe on it and a set of 540 cams. That's probably a really bad build for you, But if you're the kind of guy that wants to rip around town and bar hop and be rowdy and whatever, it's probably a great build for you. So yeah,
awesome,
absolutely critical to match your parts for your use.
Yeah, eventually these questions will be easier for people. They'll be like super chat questions and stuff like that. Right now, our software is got a quota, and looks like tonight the quota has surpassed itself so far. It's still live, so that's good. That means that maybe I've asked Google to up our quota for things like this, and they have been researching it. So maybe they did it. They just didn't send me an email back. But usually the chat quota is already expired, and tonight's still live, which is good. A lot of people are probably wondering, what are you talking about? But anyway,
right.
Our software keeps pinging the chat to see if anybody's making a question or anything like that, and it stars them on our screen. And I usually don't use that because it always dies by almost an hour and a half inside the chat. So today it's running fine. So maybe they increased it, and maybe next week we'll go with without doing the website thing. But I think it's awesome. I'm glad you're here. I appreciate you being. I mean, we learned a lot tonight. I think a lot of people that's listening learned a lot.
Oh yeah, they really enjoyed it.
Yeah,
really
absolutely.
I try real hard to bring some transparency to the market and the industry where I can, and let people know the real, honest answers behind stuff as much as possible, so they know what they're getting for their money, and they're not buying stuff that doesn't fit their needs.
Yeah, and we do. And I got to do a plug here because next week we do have a guest, and his name is Robert, and you guys are gonna like him. All right, he's gonna be. He's gonna be fun.
Robert Pena,
Yeah, how'd you know?
my old friend. I've already talked to him.
Oh, you already talked to him, huh? Oh, geez.
Yeah, he's
So next week we have a guest. The week after that, I think we're gonna be going towards. I think King of the Baggers, right, Les?
That's correct.
So we might not have a guest that week. We might. I'll see. I'm working on a couple of people, but it's corny. We're going to do like a King of the Bagger kind of pre-intro, like a podcast. But I'll see if we can get a guest. That's be fine. But
it's always fun when it's just the three of us. It's cool.
and there's only we're down to let's see. Everybody, these guys are killing me. But anyway, I'm gonna go do the shop real quick, and then we'll do the map. All right. As you guys can see, we have tons of stuff here.
Right. We'll be back in 1 second.
Yeah, go ahead. I'll come back. Yeah. Oh, he's coming back in 1 second. Okay. He's going to drink water and go to your turn. All right. Anyway, here we go. Official T&I merchandise. Somebody texted me a while ago, and I texted him back. Well, actually, it was an email. We do have 111. We do have 116. We do have some Thunderstroke stuff. So check it out. We have 108s and 116s, Power Plus and Thunderstrokes because we had to make some stuff for Max. But
Yeah, because I made you.
and we will have boxers starting Friday. And somebody said they're going to wear them. It's a throttle.
Boxers. No, we're talking short shorts, baby.
We got some throttle and we got some iron in our shorts.
And
Okay.
we better have.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Jesus.
And some girls are working on the tank tops.
Yeah, the girls are going to work on that, and I'll put it on there. But anyway. Oh, man, the girls are happy. What? What the heck's going on here? But anyway, you can see here we got a bunch of good stuff. It's going to be awesome. Check them out there. Let's see. What else can we plug? We do have the app coming out. If you want to be a beta tester, you still can. I still need beta testers after that. We're going to improve the app as much as we can. After we release version 1, it should be cool. And it's going to be cool to people that's vendors and all that kind of stuff, because people can put their performance upgrades on their bike and they can go straight to people's websites, which is pretty cool. All right, I'm giving away some secrets because it's getting close. I'm giving some close. Let's see. What else do I have? We have the new channel, so if you guys go check it out. I think it's great. I do need people to subscribe. We need to get 500 subscribers to get to the next level of YouTube. 1,000 after that. So if you guys can share the new live channel, please do. It is at Throttle Iron TV. And that one will just be running all the time. We will have the actual live on that channel on Tuesday nights and on the Friday night live also when we have when I do that one. All right, so I think that's most of the plugs. I mean, I plugged the if you really want to support us, really, there's 2 ways to do it. Become a member, all right? Become a subscriber and share, and then maybe your friends become a member and that kind of stuff. The more we do, the more we can do. The more you do, the more we can do. And basically, that's how it works. But I think that's about it. Connie, you got anything?
Yeah, we do need the short shorts by August 1st.
No.
Oh my lord!
I was just reading that and was gonna say I think we definitely are gonna need them.
Yeah, because Amanda's gonna have the bike wash.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Okay, well,
No.
Gotta have Mike in them short shorts.
That's
I
a
am
good
not
idea.
getting my bike washed there. It will not happen.
We don't have to, but somebody's gonna get their bike washed by Mike in shorts. It's gonna happen.
Ooh.
Exactly.
Ooh.
I do
In
what I
fact,
think.
I think Amanda, I think we should probably have like a charity event for that where
Oh, there you go.
you could do some raffle tickets and donate the money to a charity for him to do that.
It's a folds of honor, maybe.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, maybe
I'm
maybe
all
a different
for the
maybe a
charity.
different charity. We got the bike going for that, but maybe there's another local charity in the city that they're in that could maybe
Absolutely.
use a
Yeah.
little support or something.
Oh, wow. Yeah, we'll do that. I'll definitely get that made on Friday, Amanda. We'll get. I just gotta make sure he gets the picture. We gotta get a good picture. And can't be photoshopped or it can't be AI. It's gotta be the real deal. Okay, we want to see the real deal. All right. Max said he wants some short shorts too. Yeah. So yeah. All right. Let's see where
That's
our.
what I think about your short shorts.
Let's as long as you, if you guys went to the website and you put your location, let's see how many people has put that there. Let me look on screen real quick. We got 21 pings. That's awesome. So let's see if this thing shows up. I didn't do it last week. Let's see where everybody's from tonight. Where is it? There it is. All right.
Oh, Body Snatcher wants a pair of short
Oh my
shorts.
gosh,
too.
we got some people.
Oh yeah, he does.
We got some people in Australia
no,
tonight. Holy
God.
smokes,
Wow,
folks.
look at that. Wow.
Yeah. So look at all the people in
We
the
got
United States.
Australia.
Yeah, freaking awesome. And this is not everybody that's been in the chat. This is just people that's that's a couple people in Europe, Germany, freaking looks like one in Iran. I mean, England. That's freaking cool. One person from it looks like India. Awesome stuff, man. And I think one person from Australia. We are going to have Christine back onto the podcast here in a few weeks. We're going to be talking about the Route 66 and her adventures in the United States. I think it's going to be pretty cool. And maybe that might be the guest that we have that week. That'd be freaking cool. But anyway, let's go back to the full screen here. But anyway, that map's pretty cool. I'm glad that thing was working tonight. But anyway, we got some cool stuff on this podcast. You can't find this stuff anywhere, really, on any other podcast. And I think that's pretty cool.
Yep.
I know. I got to plug myself. You know, I'll tell you a story. You like doing taxes, Ryan?
No.
Do you have do you have an auditor?
I have a lady who is not afraid to go to prison. Yes.
I'm afraid to go to prison, but I took it upon myself. I went to see an auditor. I'm not auditor, but an accountant on sometime last week. And there's not a lot of people that can do taxes that are experienced with YouTube and that kind of stuff. And it was kind of hard. It was kind of hard. So when I left the building, I was like, I just paid $200, and I didn't think I felt like I got $200 worth. I mean, she was nice and everything else. I just don't know, and I don't think she's going to pay. I mean, I think it's going to be a little bit less. I hope she's not watching tonight, but she was good. She was good.
Maybe be some good idea to maybe find some of the bigger YouTube content creators out there, and maybe just try sending them a message and ask them for some advice on who they use and whatnot for that route.
I think most of them don't pay taxes.
Well, no, they all pay taxes. They're just the really big ones pay lots of taxes.
Yeah. So I went ahead and just started working on my own tax software. It's worked out pretty good. It's freaking awesome. It told me that I owe like $8,000 next year. So I'm just kidding. It's a joke. But yeah, I think that's one thing a lot of people miss, and this is one of the shout outs and plugins here. You're exactly right. I need to go see some of the bigger ones, see what they use, what they do, and that kind of stuff. But when you got income coming from members from the YouTube, you got income from the website, you got people buying merchandise, we're going to go and travel now. We're going to go Sturgis in a couple weeks, and we're going to be selling stuff there. It's I just give me some advice there, Ryan.
Income's income. That don't matter where it comes from. It's what you spend it on is where the accountant comes in handy.
Yeah, gotcha.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Money in is all money in is money in. It don't matter where it's coming from and where it's feeding from. It's all income.
So
Hey, Les, I guess you and I can go because we don't get any money.
I don't either. It all stays with Katie. She gets all the money.
Yeah, mine goes with equipment that I haven't paid off yet. That's where mine is. I got like $4,000, $5,000. I think I got about $8,000 worth of equipment here. To tell you the truth, it's crazy.
Yeah,
but
holy smokes.
Yeah, it really is. I mean,
oh, trust me, yeah.
You better start
that up quick. I guarantee it.
Yeah, start shopping on Temu, Chris.
Guess what, Les? There was our trip to Sturgis right there. It's all in this equipment.
I know.
All right, let's see if we can get these credits working tonight. I just reached the quota in chat, so I guess they haven't fixed that yet. Damn it, that sucks.
Ryan, thank you for joining us tonight. It's been very educational and very informative. Seriously.
I had a good time. I said I don't usually do this stuff, but I really enjoyed it. I'd love to be back someday if you guys want me in the future and need somebody to fill in.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah, definitely.
Hey, so real quick, Chris, if anyone out there's listening happens to be in the area, this Saturday, the 18th, I'll actually be in Chattanooga at Crockett Power Sports for the event there at the dealership. If you're going to be around, come by and see me, shake hands, say hello. On the 25th, I'll actually be at Maggie Valley, Wheels Through Time. Body Snatcher and I are going to meet. We're going to go through the museum down there. So, so we'll be down there. If you see me out and about, don't shy away. Jump up and say hello. But then the weekend after that, if anyone's going to be at Mid-Ohio, we'll be at King of the Baggers for a couple of days. Catch us at Mid-Ohio.
Nice. So look at all the people who was here tonight. Tim, Wynn, Leanne, Josh, Rune, Seeker Moto, Kevin. I mean, all great guys. Thank you for watching this. We got Max that was in the comments, Ryder, Shipmate, new to the, hopefully some of these people subscribe to the channel. Gangster Lifestyle was in here. Yo, Mama House, 126 Roadmaster. Great podcast tonight. Thank you all. We'll see you guys next Tuesday. And we're going to have a guest, man. We're going to have Robert here. What's his last name? How do you say his last name, Max?
Pena.
All right. So you guys, everybody, have a good night. We'll see you at Ryan, do you want to stay on for the second?
Namaste, everybody. Namaste. Peace.
Welcome to the show.
Namaste.
Where the throttle stays twisted.
Yeah.
The conversation stay loud.
Thanks, everybody.
Yeah. Thanks, everybody. It's been
freedom
great.
still means
Another
something.
Thanks for
freaking
having
awesome
me.
night.
Had a good time.
This
Namaste.
is Throttle Iron.
Stay safe.
All right.
Hell yeah.
Wow, rock and roll!
Terrible. Where'd you get that voice from? All right. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Like tomorrow, go to SharePoint. Go to share your point of view on the chat and comments. That's the best thing you can do. We'll see you on Facebook. We got lots of shorts from this one. Definitely. It's going to be great. This is the podcast that keeps giving. That's all that matters. See you guys next week. We're out of here.